One other group that a smart trainer is not for are the not so tech savvy people, because these trainers are constantly in the apps that control them are constantly updated, have glitches and bugs here and there. You're having to connect things.
Yep.
You're having to use Bluetooth. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Coaches on Couches.
Being Slouches.
I am your host, Coach Dale Sanford.
And I am Coach Bryant Funston. We are the co-founders of BPC Performance Coaching, where we specialize in helping time-crunched athletes optimize their busy schedules so they can maximize their athletic performance. You can find out more about BPC by going to buildpeakcompete.com, checking Facebook and YouTube at Build Peak Compete.
Hit that bell.
Ding. Or all up on that Instagram at BPC Performance.
I think I was supposed to tell people to subscribe too.
Oh, and
you should do that too.
Yeah.
But the bell, hit that bell.
With new videos dropping occasionally.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
It has.
We've had a little bit of a drought. It was a busy late season with everything basically canceled or deferred early season. Everything ended up at the end of the year.
For, all endurance disciplines.
Right.
Cycling, triathlon, running, like everything was packed into, it seemed like mid-August through October.
Yeah, it was real busy. So there was not a whole lot of time to keep this couch down.
At least that's our story and we're sticking to it.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about, because of now the season's over and everyone's trying to figure out what they're doing.
It's getting cold. It's getting dark.
Fall off season. Yeah, getting cold, getting dark. We're talking about trainers. Indoor trainers. We did a whole podcast on why you should learn to love the trainer, because there's so many people that just hate the trainer. We'll cover a little bit of stuff on loving the trainer, how to enjoy the trainer.
People don't like the trainer because it can be boring.
Right.
But we'll talk about options.
The big part of it. But yeah, we're talking about, so like, what is a trainer? Well, if you probably wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't already know that. So it just allows you to ride your bike indoors.
Correct.
So we have a program coming up, House Pain. We've been doing it. This is 11 years or something like that. And so we get tons of questions about, what do I need to do this indoor training? And then it's, throughout the year, it's like, well, do I need a smart trainer? Do I need what do I actually need? So we'll dive into like the different types real quick, and then we'll go into trying to help you figure out what type of trainer is best for you in your scenario. So without further ado, we've got our types of trainers. There's a couple of different types, basically.
As of a few years ago, there was just three choices, really.
But you basically had dumb trainers.
You had only dumb trainers and like three types.
Yep. So dumb trainer meaning does not connect to computer apps, no electric going on here.
Yes.
So your resistance is provided through basically the barrel in the back, and the resistance is determined by either wind, magnetic force, or fluid, like viscosity of a fluid. Generally, as you shift, you can adjust the resistance.
Yep.
Not so on the mag trainer. Generally on mag trainers, you have the little cord that comes all the way to the front.
Yep.
And you have to control the resistance that way. And then the wind trainers, generally, if you pedal harder, there's a little bit more resistance. And then fluid, obviously, has the most road feel.
Yes.
It changes,
which is what we use
as you go harder.
I still use them for warm-ups at races. I still use the fluid, but we use the fluid trainer for 9 years, 10 years?
Yeah, we've only had our smart trainers for a couple of years.
Longer. 07 to 09, I used mine for...
We kind of fought the whole smart trainer like wave for a while there.
The initial, yeah.
Because we initially, long time ago, we bought a couple smart trainers. I mean, this was years and years and years before Wahoo came out with theirs and it became a cool thing. This was basically only when CompuTrainer was around, and we couldn't afford CompuTrainers.
Nope.
So we tried to find a cheaper option, and we bought like an old initial like Tax smart trainer that had a million cables and all this stuff.
I might still have it in my attic. It's like a relic now. It's like the original Nintendo.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
So we kind of swore off smart trainers for a while, because the fluid trainer is just like very universal. You can use it, easy to bring around, like easy to take, like you said, take to races, warm up.
Pretty lightweight overall.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to plug it into anything.
Yep.
So a lot of advantages to it. But
so like within the then there are smart trainers, which is the cool thing now, the hype. Basically, the smart trainer receives input from an app or a computer, and then can adjust like resistances of the trainer based on either terrain or virtual terrain or the workout or, something like that.
Yeah, preset resistance level that you may want it at, or
and
an
so,
incline that you want it at. Like you can set it to adjust your resistance level.
And within those, you'll get power data, you'll get cadence, all that kind of stuff you'll get within that smart trainer is kind of built into the whole deal.
Yeah.
Within those two types, there's kind of like, or within smart and dumb trainers, there are still two different types of direct drive versus like wheel drive, or wheel on versus wheel off trainers. Again, direct drive, you take the wheel off, you don't have the cassette is on the trainer. Basically,
the trainer becomes your rear wheel essentially.
Yeah. So
your rear wheel's gone.
You're not eating up tires. I've blown through many a tire in a winter. And
that's really the big thing, right? So a wheel driven or a wheel on, I mean, essentially your tire is going to it's going to get some wear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's not adjusted right, you really burn through them. But if you have everything, your tire pressure proper, and you've got the
but who does that?
Level of tension.
I just keep cranking the tension, even when the thing's flat.
When you start seeing rubber hitting your back wall, you might want to do some adjusting there on the resistance / tire pressure combo. But like years where I was doing quite a few hours indoors on the trainer, on a wheel drive, on that fluid trainer that we had, I was one tire. I mean, it's not like I was going through 6 different tires to get through a season. That included riding on the road. So it's not like it was a massive extra cost by being on a wheel-based system. Although I
you're
do like
change tires at least once a year anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Blow through a set of hard shells in a winter is not a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. I'd change them out anyway come race season. So but yeah, those are kind of the two big things. Like I remember when the direct drive first came out, I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool concept.
Fancy.
Yeah, no longer have to use my rear wheel on that. I mean, I could keep a race tire on it if I wasn't wanting to burn through a race tire. So like, during the season, there were some advantages there.
So like cost is obviously a big thing. So with a dumb trainer, you're probably looking at brand new $300 to $400
tops.
You could probably spend more or less. Like obviously with the dumb trainer, you could scour Facebook Marketplace and pick one up for $50 to $75. I'm sure there's people selling them left.
I've seen some almost brand new, like the Saris or the formerly Cyclops, the Fluid 2s.
Yeah. Which
are what we used. $175, $200, like brand new.
And it's a $400
and it's
trainer.
$330, $350, something like that. I think I just saw. I mean, so you can
market
find
adjustment,
deals.
Bryant. There's a market adjustment
it's
to there.
the supply chain. Got supply chain issues going on. In our next podcast, we'll be talking about supply chain issues. But yeah, I mean, that's a serious consideration for a lot of folks. So like when people come to us and talking about the House of Pain program, they're wondering, okay, what do I need to do this indoor cycling program? And so one of the questions there is, okay, well, what's your budget? And then we always ask them first, like, what data devices do you currently have?
Yeah.
Like, do you have heart rate already? Do you have a heart rate monitor? Which those are pretty cheap. Do you have power? So power is kind of a don't worry about Dale spilling water all over the place. Do you have power? Because if you're someone who's going to do the House of Pain, you're probably interested in increasing your overall performance. If you're a data-driven person, you want power on your bike. Now, if you have it on a Smart Trainer, also great, but we want you to have data on your bike that you can collect. You're still getting that data on a dumb trainer, but you're also getting it for any outdoor rides you're doing during the winter or once winter's over and now you're doing most of your training outside. You're collecting all of that data. You're tracking your progress. You're seeing your improvements along the way. So the first question we ask is, okay, what's your budget? What's your current setup? So if you have nothing, and you're a budget conscious person, fluid trainer. Just get one of the dumb trainers. It's a wheel drive or wheel on system. You can find them used or you can buy it new. You're looking at, $300 something bucks.
We always, like, if you're going the dumb trainer route, we always recommend fluid because mag trainers and wind trainers are usually super loud.
Who was it that brought? We used to do House of Pain in, this is like a side story, but we used to do House of Pain in Dale's detached garage. And now it's all video based. But back when it was it was like 12 people packed into this tiny little garage. And someone showed up. It was a wind trainer, huh?
It was a wind trainer.
And they started
like
warming up and it sounded
turbine.
like a 747 was about to take off. And we're like...
And it was louder than everything in the room.
Yes.
So it was hard to coach.
Couldn't coach. Dale actually ended up stopping riding and giving him his fluid trainer, and Dale didn't even do the session that day. It's like, nope, not going to happen. So
he didn't bring it back anymore after that.
No. So fluid is what we recommend. If you're going with a dumb trainer, get a fluid trainer. You'll be happy you did. Yeah. It's more of a road-like feel anyway.
Yeah, of all the dumb trainers, the fluid ones feel more like the road, and so totally.
Yeah.
I know we didn't really touch on cost of smart trainers, but with smart trainers, because of the demand for them and how popular they're getting with all the virtual riding, Zwift and Ruvi and all the other whatever ones that are out there, the costs are coming down on them, and people they're building lower cost ones. So right now you can get a smart trainer for, some of them are under $400, but basically, so your price range right now is $400 to $1,400, basically. And the big thing you need to know is that lower price usually means smaller flywheel, lower ability to simulate grades, and less ability to handle large power outputs. So that's the big thing to think about. I think the lowest cost ones are like capable of simulating 6% in like 800 watts or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I've not known. Have you known anyone on the low end smart trainers?
No. Well,
from our
other
experience,
than like a kicker snap.
Yeah.
The wheel on versions.
But like even the lower, I didn't even know there was a version lower than that until we just started looking at it a little bit ago. So I've not had much experience at all in the very entry level smart trainer setups.
I do know someone who had a kicker snap and upgraded it because they weren't real thrilled with it. Yeah. But this was like a year or 2 years ago when when they were kind of still trying to drill in there. I'm sure it's way better now than it was.
Yeah.
But the wheel on systems, even with smart trainers, because that's what we had with those nightmare old trainers, is like the resistance when it comes on, it has to like grab the tire and then, so the resistance tends to come on fast on a wheel on smart trainer. And even some of the nice direct drive trainers, the resistance comes on really quickly, like when you hit a hill or something like that. So that's just kind of like one thing to watch out for if you're really hard up to get a smart trainer and you're going to go low cost. It's probably not going to be as smooth of a feel like when you're riding a course and you're hitting like 3%, 4% grades.
Yeah.
Generally the resistance just kind of clamps down really quick.
Yeah.
Versus really smooth, like and more stimulating the road. So, anyways, that's just kind of a range of what you could spend on a smart trainer, and it's obviously pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're personally, my recommendation, if someone's going to be getting a smart trainer, I would overdoing like or instead of doing like power meter on the bike and fluid trainer, because that's going to be similar price really. I would recommend them looking at your like $800 and up range personally. Yeah. Like if I was going to buy a smart trainer, I would not be buying one of the cheaper. That's just me personally.
At this point, for what I've done with structured workouts and Zwift and virtual riding and stuff like that, I wouldn't own a non-direct drive smart trainer, which pretty much puts you in that
exactly
$750, $800 and plus price range.
Yeah. And the people we've coached, like you were mentioning, a lot of them, if they came in at a more entry level, have upgraded to the direct drive. Yeah. More features, more realistic feel, and it's going to be the better route to go long term.
Yeah.
For our own personal recommendations there. So,
we'll kind of go into a couple other things to consider. Obviously, there's a lot to consider if you're like, especially if you're like, if money is no object, or if money is an object and you have a tight budget, then, cost is a big thing. So price ranges are huge. But again, we kind of alluded to this, which is, if you have one choice and if you have $800 to spend and you could spend it on a mid upper level smart trainer, or you could spend it on a dumb trainer and a power meter, go with the power meter and the dumb trainer first. Unless you are like your main reason for getting a smart trainer is like the mental stimulation side of what a smart trainer offers. Like if you are one of those people that just like hates the trainer, then if it's a matter of you getting in your training or not, go with the smart trainer.
Yeah. And when he says mental stimulation side there, like if you're someone who wants to do the virtual reality stuff, wants to do some of the group ride aspect things that you can do, wants to be able to ride different courses, and it can sort of, riding a course or doing a group ride or doing a race keeps you more mentally engaged. So someone who may despise the trainer may be able to get through 45 minutes or 60 minutes, because you're actually being forced to adjust. A smart trainer will adjust that for you. You have to shift gears. You have to react. Like there's engagement that has to take place. Whereas if you just hop on a trainer and you start spinning with no goal, no objective, it is proven time slows down.
Yes, the universe
stands still, and it can really it can be, if there's no plan and there's no variation that you're running through, it can get super boring. So you got to kind of think about, okay, where am I? What's my goal? If you're doing something like the hop, we're spending our whole time telling you to do different stuff. Standing up, sitting down, adjusting your pedal stroke, adjusting your technique, adjusting your cadence, adjusting your body position. Like there's so much mental engagement going on there. You're fine with a dumb trainer. You're also fine if you're on a smart trainer. Like,
I mean, I'll be honest, on a smart trainer, I like whenever I do, especially if I do like longer rides on the smart trainer, I'm still just watching Netflix or like old races.
Zoning out.
Yeah, I'm still just going to watch TV. Yeah. Well, so I could be on a dumb trainer with my power meter and just do the same thing. Like I turn Zwift on, but I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I just,
then there's some people that they just love Zwift. So like you need to figure out who you are, what type of person you are, and what you're hoping to achieve from this, and that's going to help drive you in your direction of choice here.
I mean, I will say, like, if you're more on the performance side, like if you're wanting the performance gains out of it, and you're on a budget, do the power meter and the dumb trainer, and you're going to be a lot happier, like in the long run, because you're going to be able to take that data outdoors and like, I mean, none of us like get into cycling to ride indoors all the time. Now, does that happen like in certain stages of life when convenience is everything? Yes. However, you're going to want that data outside and to be able to compare and contrast, rides and races and stuff like that. And especially if you're as a triathlete, if you're a triathlete and you're using power, like power is like the major regulator for people in races, long course especially. So you train all the time indoors with power, and then you don't go and race with it. You're just like, it's just,
there's a disconnect there. Yeah.
So I'm all for getting the power on the bike first, and then if you wait another year and you have your next big purchase, go for the smart trainer. Skip a year of getting some new wheels or something, and get a smart trainer.
Yep, for sure.
One other group that a smart trainer is not for are the not so tech savvy people, because these trainers are constantly in the apps that control them are constantly updated, have glitches and bugs here and there. You're having to connect things.
Yep.
You're having to use Bluetooth.
Well, something else people don't really think about, I guess, too, is if you're going to a direct drive system, the spacing on your cassette, even if it's the same number of cogs on your cassette, 11 speed to 11 speed or 12 to 12 or whatever, that spacing may be a little bit different on those hubs. And so if you're not sure how to adjust your shifting on your bike, you may hate your trainer, because going back and forth from your bike to your trainer, you may get chain hop. It may not shift properly, like just that little aspect of it.
Yeah, well, or if you can't take your wheel off your bike, that's
also a consideration. Yeah.
I've had a few people come in for bike fits before, and they're like, "Oh, I've never actually taken the wheel off my bike. Can you show me how to do that again?"
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, think about that. Like, there's been two people that I've coached who have bought top of the line smart trainers, tried to use them, tried to figure them out, and ended up saying, "Nope, not worth the hassle," and stopped doing it. So I don't think they're that complicated necessarily, but something to consider.
I mean, I've had tech issues with mine before, and it was normally like right after it's been updated or something like that, or Zwift has been updated or something like that. But it's something that doesn't resolve. You can't.
Which I think kind of segues really into the last piece, is some of the different brands out there. Like if you're going to get, anytime you're going to invest in anything, I think one of the most important things, especially with stuff that's technology driven, is to get it from a brand that has good customer service, good warranties, stand behind their product. Like, don't save a few bucks and end up with something that's not backed by the actual company. Like with our Ceres trainers that we had issues with those on the plug that goes into it. And it was a no questions asked. Yep. They sent us brand new trainers, even without us sending even before receiving the ones that we currently had that were malfunctioning. So I would highly recommend you go with a brand name like a Ceres, like a Wahoo, like a Tax.
Yeah.
If you're going on the fluid side, so Ceres has fluid trainers. They're formerly Cyclops. Kurt Kinetic used to be a
still popular,
but more in the fluid trainer realm. Don't go with their road feel one. If you do the Kurt Kinetic, do they even sell those anymore?
The rock and roll?
Don't do the rock and roll. Whatever you do, or you'd be sitting like at a slight angle the whole time. So don't do that. Elite, I've not heard
Elite
too
makes
much
some
about
good
Elite,
trainers.
but
They're a little more popular in Europe.
so for all you Euro people,
For
Spain, for all our Spain folks following us.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about the customer service side of it. I know I've heard Wahoo has good customer service as well. But the fact that, it is a very expensive piece of equipment, and if something goes wrong with it, you want them to back it.
Even buying from a local bike shop, most bike shops are going to source these bigger names. They're going to sell those bigger names. So purchasing through your local bike shop, where you can take the trainer back to them and you can have them be the ones dealing with, some of these customer service style issues, or possibly just giving you a replacement while they handle it all. Yeah. Highly encourage that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always nice to, be able to take it to someone and say, hey, you deal with it.
This isn't working.
You deal with it.
Swap me out one and you deal with this. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. I think that's most of the information. Like I said, you kind of have to figure out what is your number one factor, like for wanting to get a trainer, and then you can kind of dive into what is most important to you, and then, pick the right one. It's there's like everyone's scenario is going to change too. So kind of focus on where you're at right now. What you're looking to do this fall, winter, especially if you're going to be inside a lot, and then hopefully we've helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Versus making it more confusing. We get questions on this all the time.
Yep.
And like try to direct people the best we can, to the right one. But
yeah.
There's just
but honestly, to get started training indoors, like if your goal is to get better over the off season, and all you need is a basic fluid trainer, dumb trainer, you can make it happen. On top of that, heart rate. On top of that, power. On top of that, okay, go into all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, that's a good.
But if you're looking for basics, indoor trainer, fluid is what we recommend.
Yeah.
And then, based on budget, definitely get power.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and if you want to check out our hop cycling program, you can always go to hopcycling.com. Tomorrow we're going to do this probably won't get out before then, but tomorrow we're going to do a question and answer session on that.
November 10th.
But hop starts first week in December, goes all the way to the time change. We do it 2 nights a week, and it's very, very focused, structured, engaged work to, help you improve as become more of a complete cyclist. But it's also to make sure that you don't want to blow your brains out on a trainer for the entire winter.
Yep. You will come out dropping hammers. In March if you sign up for that.
All right. Appreciate everyone hanging out, listening, watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Peace.
Drop the hammer again.